Hi everybody, how are you today? So tonight we're going to do a Scorpio New Moon live cord cutting ceremony, and it's actually the new moon tomorrow, but because Scorpio works in the dark, I've written in the description a thing to integrate. So what we are going to do tonight is we're going to name all of the things that people are wanting to let go of. We're going to name them all, and so after this, when we've done this tonight, write them all down, all of the things that you don't want to be anymore, or the things that you don't want to have in your life, and I'll go through some of those in a minute, but writing it all down and putting it under your pillow for tonight, because Scorpio works in the dark. And then in the morning, so as I said in the description, I've put an integration process to do. So you can either cut the cord, we'll cut the cords tonight, but you can cut your cords with everything in the morning. You can burn it, you can rip it all up, you can put it in paper, you can do whatever it is that you need that feels right for you to cut these cords, because this is a very potent new moon for this year, and because we're still in the time of Scorpio. So Scorpio is all of the deep, dark stuff, like all of the sexual abuse, all of the stuff that's been buried really deep. So, letting go of the effects of all of that, letting go of all of the effects of neglect and abandonment and blame and shame and guilt and all of those different things. So the energy feels really thick, and it's really charged, and it's really anticipatory at the moment. And so we've got this sense of excitement, that something, hi Talena, something huge is going to happen, and it is. And the new moon sits in Scorpio, which is the sign of death, rebirth, truth, shadow, and soul reclamation. So this is what we're doing now. So the collective energy has been shedding, purging, unraveling for months, and tonight's the final release point. So you might find that after this, you do go through quite an intense emotional process, and it's really good just to allow it. You might find that anger will come up, that sadness, that grief, all of that stuff that's been buried, you might find over the next few days it will come up, because also astrologically too, it's really high intensity energy for the next few days. So just allowing those things to come up, and it's really, really important to, give yourself time for integration with things. And that's why I've just unplugged. And it was so good just to allow my body to integrate all of the stuff that I've processed this year, because it's been a lot. And a lot of us, we've all been going through this. It's like death and rebirth, and, we've been like dark nights of the soul and all of this sort of stuff. So tonight we're going to step into the underworld of our own becoming, willingly, courageously, and with full surrender. So what makes this full moon so significant? This isn't just a regular full moon. This is a cosmic stack. So Scorpio moon is the end of a 12-year cycle, with the Chinese astrology, it goes in the 12-year cycle. So we won't have our year of the snake for another 12 years. It's the end of a 9-year cycle, like the universal year 9, which is about completion. So we're seeing old structures collapsing, we're seeing, all of the stuff that no longer serves us being brought to the surface. And this is also to a result of our awakening, all of the things that we've gone deep inside to release from us. So it's a final shedding of the year of the snake, which is really, really good. And it's also the gate year into the year of the fire horse. So the Scorpio new moon, it cuts illusions, it reveals truth, it brings buried emotions to the surface, it dissolves energetic cords from past timelines, identities, and relationships. The end of the year of the snake has been about deep transformation, shedding skins, releasing karmic debris, letting identities die, and preparing for rebirth. So this moon completes that shedding. So this is why it's really, really powerful, and this is why it's really, if you can write down all of the things that you don't want in your life anymore, like lack, we'll go through some of them soon, and put in the comments, what it is that I've already written down, like Talana's, and I've written down different people's ones that have already come up. But this is also a karmic completion point, so this is like lifetimes of stuff that we're actually letting go of, lifetimes of abuse, like of the slavery of humanity that we've all been. Hi, Julie. We've all been under this slavery of humanity, like the mind's being controlled. Oh, just on the loo. I remember that ad in New Zealand, that Telstra ad, and the phone rings and someone goes, hello, is Mummy there? No, Mummy's in the toilet doing poos. So it's one of those ads for when you're children. So just a random thing. Triggered that. So coming back to this, so this moon completes the shedding that we've all been going through, you know, because we have been going through, those that have been on the path of awakening, this has been a year of deep, deep, deep shedding, deep, deep letting go, deep, deep, you know, surrendering, grieving, you know, all of the emotions that we've been carrying. So the 12-year expansion, so the major themes from 2012 to 2024 have been about finalizing and collapsing. So whatever's not aligned cannot come with you. So this is going to be a part 2 because we're stepping into the, you know, the 5th dimension, the higher realms. You know, a lot of people aren't going to come with us. And that's unfortunately something that we're just going to have to accept because, you know, a lot of people just aren't getting it. A lot of people haven't... yeah, it is funny, Julie. A lot of people, you know, haven't done that deep inner work. You know, they've been blaming the world for everything that's going on with them, but they actually haven't done the deep work. So there is going to be a split. You know, it's not necessarily now, but this split is definitely, you can actually definitely feel it a lot more now. You know, people that just aren't going to wake up and they've just totally, you know, indoctrinated, they'll stay in that 3D world. They'll stay in this reality, but we're moving beyond that. So... the fire horse energy brings fearless authenticity, rapid manifestation, leadership, freedom, wild sovereignty, and unfuckable with identity. So, and to me, being unfuckable with is that we've finally learned boundaries. We've finally learned to say no. We've finally stopped being people pleasers just to, you know, for other people's love and approval, because it doesn't actually help anybody. And also too, like just as an example with the people pleaser, what it does, it sets you up for disappointment because we'll give and give and give and give and give and expect that other people will give and give and give and give back, but they just take and take and take more. So and then so when we're doing that, it actually becomes conditional love. We're giving with the expectation that we're going to receive that, but we're actually choosing to give. So, you know, there's lots of different things. So being unfuckable with, hi Davina, unfuckable with, you know, like we've got boundaries. We're not going to put up with this shit anymore. We're not going to buy into these systems. We're not going to play into that fear, you know. It's like we're done with this shit. And also too, I believe that this is a time history has not served us well at all, especially the divine feminine, and this is time for her story now. This is the time that the divine feminine is rising, stepping into her full power, reclaiming all of who we are, and that's their greatest fear. So put some comments in the thing. What it is that you're wanting to release is anger, disappointment, betrayal, grief, old lovers, trauma bonds. You know, so many of us have been in you know, love relationships that are trauma bonds, and you know, old lovers, you know, maybe someone hurt you 20 years ago and they might have said something that hurt your feelings, and still, we've got to let it go, because it's just, you know, like we are not that person anymore and they aren't that person anymore. So we've got to let go of all of these old things that we've been carrying. Also the ancestral patterns, like this year I've broken 14 generations of ancestral lineage in my family, and oh my God, what a difference it's made. The mother wound, the father wound, you know, we've got to let all of this go. These are the things. So write in the comments these things that you know that we don't want to do. People pleasing, fear, scarcity. Oh my God, scarcity has been the biggest thing for so many people. You know, it's like I just can't believe, like, you know, like the abundant souls that we are and the absolute magnificent beings, but the bank accounts don't match the, you know, don't match the spirit, doesn't match the energy. That's been a really tough one for so many of us. So yeah, disappointment and grief. Okay, yeah. Pain, trauma, grief. Yep. Just writing these down. Shame. What about shame? You know, shame's so big. You know, a lot of us have grown up with that, you know, body shame. You know, we're shaming our bodies. We're still ashamed of our bodies because maybe we've been sexually abused, or maybe someone called us fat or something like that, you know. So there's still that little part of us that's body shame. shame, you know, just all of the disgusting vile acts that, you know, have been allowed to happen to us growing up. I mean, again, yes, we did choose them, but, you know, those things that are unforgivable. So that shame that you carry in the body, and that shame, money and government, okay. Unworthiness, that's a really big thing as well too. You know, we've grown into this, you know, like at our core, we don't believe we're worthy of love, or we don't believe we're worthy of money, or we don't believe we're worthy of all of the things that, you know, the universe can bring to us. So there's all of these layers of stuff. Any old versions of yourself, you know, any parts of yourself that are still, you know, dragging along behind, you know, like that part that just goes into the woe is me, and why is it not happening for me? And, you know, we all do it. We all have moments of it, but, you know, that woe is me, and being the victim, you know, because when you're being the victim, you don't actually have to take any responsibility for yourself, because you're always blaming somebody else. You're always pointing the finger at someone else, but you're not actually taking any responsibility for yourself or for ourselves. So if it doesn't feel like who you're becoming, you don't need it. So there's just so much. I'll just write down if there's anything in here that I haven't got on this list. Yep, deception, that's a big one. Betrayal, that's another one. Being misunderstood. What about being invisible? You know, like, that's always been, you know, like being invisible. You know, we haven't been seen and heard when we've been growing up. So, you know, maybe we don't have a voice now because we don't feel we're worthy of having a voice. Or if we did have a voice when we were growing up, we'd be punished for it in some way. You know, so all of these things that we've been carrying. Martyrdom, yeah, martyrdom. After all I've done for you, you know, well, and this is where, again, we need to take responsibility for ourselves in this martyrdom, is that we've actually chosen to be the martyr. We've actually chosen to do those things for people. People haven't necessarily asked us, but the more we've done for them, the more they've expected it, and the less maybe sometimes we've got back, and then we become that, I know I've done it with my kids, you know, we've all got these things in them. The lies that we've been told, but also too the lies that we've chosen to believe, you know, and the lies that we've chosen to spiritual bypass, in a sense, you know, like the lies of, you know, we know like our phones and everything, the danger of them, but they're convenient, you know, and our computers and things like that. All of these things that we know that are bad for us, you know, we know that but we still eat them, we still consume, because it's convenient, you know, so we sort of push all of those things to the side, and so we're actually allowing that deception, and so we're co-creators in that deception as well too. So anxiety, yep, it's another big one. Yep, and being invisible, yep, that is huge. And that's also part of the being invisible and not having a voice is part of the persecution wound of the, you know, the goddess and the, you know, the women that have been like burnt and hung and beheaded and everything for speaking their truth, for standing in their power and everything too. So there's been quite a big amount of fear in this incarnation, and I guess many others as well too. It's like, oh my God, I'm not going to step into my light because they'll chop my head off again, or they're going to hang me again, or they're going to rape me again, or they're going to, whatever it is that they're going to do. So there's that fear of that persecution that is a big thing that we've carried with us. So what else? Okay, so we've got quite a bit there. Being misunderstood, being unheard. Yep, they're big, they're really big. Misunderstood. And also too, a lot of it too, of stuff that we carry is like miscommunication, because we weren't taught to communicate when we were kids. We weren't taught to express ourselves, or to, you know, speak up and have a voice, or say, no, I don't like that, or please stop doing that. Or if we did have a voice, we'd be, I know in our house we'd just get yelled at. You know, if you tried to have a voice or anything like that, you'd be yelled at, and you'd be sort of cowering in the corner thinking, So we create these beliefs that, you know, I'm not worthy of having a voice. So all of these things, and I'm hoping that just talking about some of these things is just going to trigger stuff for you. And as I said, you know, I've put in the description is tonight we're going to bring it all to the surface. After we've done this, write it all down, the things that are relevant to you. Put it under your pillow, because again, Scorpio walks in the dark, and then tomorrow do a ritual that suits you. So we're going to get the ball rolling, because this is also for the collective. Being adopted, that's huge. That's a massive, you know. So that's abandonment, that's rejection, that's so much, you know. You know, feeling like you never belonged, that you're unwanted. There's so many layers of all of these things. Yeah, no, be quiet and go outside. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so sit down, shut up, be seen, not heard. You know, same thing, you know. So all of these things that we've been programmed with, we have the opportunity to let them all go now. So after this, I hope you feel inspired to write all of those things that aren't serving you anymore, writing yourself a letter and putting it under your pillow, and in the morning doing whatever it is that you need to release it. So we'll start now. So if you just want to take a really slow, deep, really slow, deep breath. So just imagine that you're just breathing in maybe for a count of 8. So just slowly, like, and just holding it. And just allowing yourself now to breathe out whatever, breathe out really, really deeply. So I want you to imagine now where the cord is attached. Is it in the heart or the womb? Your hand will intuitively go to wherever this cord is that you're carrying that we need to cut. And it'll be different for each and every one of us. Is it in your womb? Is it in your solar plexus? Is it in your throat or your third eye? So I just want to imagine now that we are all calling on our higher selves. So all of our higher selves are standing behind us, and we're forming an energetic grid around the planet, because this is also the collective consciousness. This is the collective cords that we're cutting at this time. And as your higher selves are standing with your hands on your shoulders, feel the energy pouring down into your body. And as it does, feel your roots going deep down to the core of the earth. Feel yourself being grounded, connected to the earth, and connected to your own individual crystal that's been there since the beginning of time. And I want you to imagine now that beneath the earth was a root system where all of the beings that are awakened and awakening, that there's like a network of light, like an electrical current running beneath the earth. So all of our roots are connecting. And this is connecting with all of the beings that are awakening at this time, and calling in the higher selves of all of those that are needing this energy at this moment. And I want you to imagine now that we're all standing with our arms linked around. We've got our arms linked together, and we're standing in a massive circle around Mother Earth. And there's so many of us that you can feel this energy and feel it moving through your body. And as we look into the center, we can see that there's a fire. And this is the fire of the eternal flame, the violet flame. And this is going to transmute all of this energy. And as we call on all of these things that we're releasing, I want you just to repeat to yourself what I say. Just repeat it silently. I now choose to release rejection. And see that rejection going into the fire. It's being transmuted into the highest frequency of light. And that rejection becomes acceptance, self-acceptance. No one can reject you except for you. Now see this energy of abandonment. I now choose to release abandonment. And see this being thrown into the fire. And the violet flame's transmuting this. No one can abandon you except for you. See this abandonment now being connection. So have this sense of connection as this is transmuted by the violet flame, all of this abandonment. It now becomes connection and acceptance. Now I want you to see all of your expectations where you've been disappointed, all of that disappointment that you've created for yourself by being a people pleaser, or by thinking that people are going to be like you and will do what you do, and then you get disappointed. And all of those unmet needs that we've had, all of those things that we haven't been able to express, and then we've been disappointed because they couldn't read our minds. So see that, throwing all of this into the fire. And as you do, see these cords coming out of your body. And you're just throwing these cords into the fire as well too. And I want you to imagine now fear. All of the fear that you've carried, it's just an illusion of the mind. Fear is a choice. It's false evidence appearing real, or face everything and rise. And if you're staying in that place of fear, you've got a choice now to let it go. I let go of all fear. I release all fear. I release all fear of the future. I release all fear of the fear from the past. I release all fear. I choose to face everything and rise. What about all that love, that love that you never received? When you're a child and you never felt loved and you never felt wanted, and all of the stuff that we've carried from the womb, all of the rejection and abandonment and not being wanted and not feeling connected to our mother or our father, and all of the stuff that was going on. So all of the ancestral wounds that come with that. So imagine now you're pulling it out of your womb. You're pulling out all of these belief systems that no longer serve, and you're just throwing it into the fire from the male and female lineage, releasing all of that stuff, all of the insecurities that we've brought through with us. Most of it wasn't even ours. So just see this now being thrown into this fire, and the violet flame is transmuting all of this. What about the blame? Being blamed for everything when you were growing up. You were everyone's scapegoat. You were their emotional punch bag. So you were blamed for everything. And then you blame yourself for everything. So everything that goes wrong, oh my God, I wish I hadn't have done that. I could have done better. All of that blame that you've carried. When you blame someone else, you're being lame. And when you're blaming someone else, you've got one finger pointing at someone else. You've always got three pointing at yourself. So this is about looking at that blame. Where have I used blame as a way to spiritual bypass so I don't need to be accountable? Where have I not taken responsibility for myself because I've been blaming everybody else, even though I know that I haven't owned my part in it, because we always have a part in everything. So see now all of the blame, all of the religious, all of the stuff that's been programmed in, through the generations now, it's being thrown into this fire, it's being transmuted by the violet flame. And what about all the shame, all of the body shame that you've carried, all of the shame of maybe you were violated as a child and your innocence was stolen, you never felt quite comfortable in your body, or you always felt dirty, all of that shame, and so it's held you back in relationships and you haven't been able to express yourself fully in your full sensuality and your full sexuality because you've had this little bit of shame that my body's not good enough or I'm not good enough, and all of the stuff that's come with it, and all of the shame that's been passed down through religion. All of the dogma, all of the shame and the fear and brimstone. If you don't do this, you're going to hell. So those who are preaching God were worshipping Satan and programming everybody with all of this shame. So throwing that now and seeing this as it goes into the fire. This is a really big fire. You can see this bonfire lighting up with all of the shame, all of the collective shame now being released. All being transmuted with the violet flame. What about all of the guilt? All of the guilt that we've been programmed with, all of the religious guilt, all of the societal guilt, all of the guilt of not being like comparing ourselves to others, and we feel guilty because we don't have as much money as they do. We feel guilty because we've got more than them. We feel guilt. All of this unnecessary guilt that we've carried. So feel it again. We're pulling all of these threads out and we're just throwing this into the bonfire. All being transmuted with the violet flame. And what about all of that abuse, all of that violation, all of those inappropriate people that did all of those horrible things to you, that stole your childhood? Let's release now all of this abuse on every level. Abuse, neglect, all of the violation, all of the loss of innocence, the loss of childhood, all of that stuff now. And we're throwing this into the bonfire, and it's all being transmuted with the violet flame. And it's now becoming, not that it's made us, but it has defined us, it's refined. It hasn't defined us, it's refined us. because we've chosen not to allow that to be our thing that has controlled us anymore. So throwing all of this horrible abuse on every level into the fire now. See this fire's raging, the violet flames coming and transmuting all of it. And what about all of the ancestral chains of anger, of not being enough, of unworthiness, all of that stuff that we've carried? You can't do that. You're not good enough for that. You can't follow your dreams. That's not practical. All of that stuff that we've been told, all of the lies that we've believed that have dimmed our light and that have dimmed our potential. Throwing all of this now into the fire and transmuting it all into the highest frequency of light. Seeing our power, allowing ourselves to be powerful, allowing ourselves to be successful, allowing ourselves to realize our full potential. And what about that anger? Oh, that anger that we've carried, that anger that we've suppressed when our passive-aggressive ways of not being able to express it. So we've expressed it in nasty ways and ultimately we turn it on ourselves. That anger festers away inside of us and it becomes resentment and it becomes hardening in the body and hardening in the arteries. All of that anger that we've carried that we haven't been able to express. See this now, pulling it out of your body and throwing it into this bonfire. The violet flames coming in and transmuting this anger and seeing it as a powerful force of creativity. That anger can be used to fuel you in a really positive, creative way once you've released it and transmuted it. So feel the fire of creativity now flowing through you. What about all of the sadness? All of the sadness that we've carried. Maybe we've carried that from our mother in the womb. Maybe she lost children before us and she was grieving and we soaked up all of that grief and we came into this life feeling sad, not even understanding why. It wasn't even anything to do with us. And then maybe because she was grieving or she'd had trauma that had happened to her, she wasn't able to bond with you. So there was always this sadness of disconnection, this sadness of not being connected to the mother and not feeling wanted and loved. When maybe the mother was in survival mode and she was in a state of her emotions were frozen, she had nothing left to give. So bringing in the essence now of forgiveness. So we're pulling out now all of the unforgiveness in the body, the unforgiveness for all of the hurts, the unforgiveness for all of the neglect and the abandonment, the rejection. Because all of that unforgiveness, all it does is it builds up in our body and it creates more resistance. So see now all of this unforgiveness. Forgive them all, bless them all, send them on their way. Each and every one was doing the best they could with what they had. And if it wasn't enough for you, it actually was, because it made you who you are today. So just forgive them all. See the violet flame coming in, transmuting again all of this unforgiveness that you've carried, all of this resentment and bitterness. So now we're throwing into the flame all of the insecurity that we've carried inside of us. Security is in, and it's our responsibility to find that. But all of the insecurity that had been passed down through us, again, not being enough, being unworthy, comparing ourselves to others, all of that. So imagine again, you're pulling it out of your body, and again, you may be pulling all of these things out of different parts in your body. Bringing forth now all of the feelings of forgiveness and feel the freedom of that. Feel yourself just feeling free. It doesn't condone bad behavior, but it just stops you carrying the burden of it around your neck. It's like a chain around your neck. All of the deception, all of the lies, all of the things that we've been told, all of the things that we've been believed, and it's like the wool's been pulled out from under us. So we're throwing away all of that deception now, because ultimately, again, it comes down to how we're deceiving ourselves. No one can deceive us unless we allow it. Because when we see the truth and we still choose that deception, we're choosing that deception. That's what you don't change, is that which you don't change, you're choosing. So see now all of the deception. See truth now. See this, all of the deception, all of the lies through religion, through families, through institutions, through everything. All of that deception now being transmuted into truth. What about being misunderstood? Not being able to communicate your needs, not being able to communicate your wants, being too scared to ask for what you want, being too scared to ask for help because you see it as a sign of weakness. All of these things that we've carried with us now, again, pulling it out of the body and throwing it into this fire, transmuting it with the violet flame. And this is about communication. This is about responsibility for being able to speak our truth. So all of the times that we haven't been able to speak our truth, or all of the times that we've felt that we're invisible, or all of the times we've been punished for speaking our truth now, throwing all of that into the fire. It's like you're throwing away all of these layers of stuff that you've been carrying. And just feel the lightness of your being as we release all of these things. And all of that anxiety and the depression, and all of those, anxiety is always fear of the future. Depression is living in the past. So releasing all of this now, again, it's another false construct. The future is guaranteed when you are stepping into your heart and you're putting one foot in front of the other one day at a time. That's it. That's all you need to do. The future will unfold in the way that is meant to unfold. The past is gone. It's a chain around your neck. So see this, literally undoing this chain around your neck and throwing it into the fire. All of the anxiety, all of the depression, it's again a false construct of the mind, and it is a choice. Just like happiness is a choice. It's a conscious choice. Being adopted. All of those feelings, or sometimes in some families, wishing that you had been adopted. Wishing that you had been put into another family, wondering why you had been put into the family that you had been put into. But that feeling of being given away, that feeling of not being loved and loved enough for the mother to be able to keep you, not knowing her circumstances at the time, and also taking into consideration she was doing what she thought was the best for you at the time, because maybe she couldn't give you the life that she wanted. So releasing all of this abandonment, all of these feelings of not belonging. None of us belonged because we were chosen not to belong. None of us belonged because we came here to be the way showers and the chain breakers. And that's why our paths have been so difficult. So today now we shed all of this once and for all. We let go of all of these chains, all of these things that have kept us enslaved, all of these things that have been keeping us with our light dim. With the fire of my soul and the waters of my rebirth, I cut all cords that no longer serve my becoming. So imagine now we're cutting all of these cords. All of these cords now, they're being cut right at the core. And your whole body is just flooding with light. So these entry points of these things cannot enter anymore. So just feel your whole body flooding with light. It's plugging up all of the holes. You're pulling out all of these roots. So just imagine now it's all dissolving. All of that which you've carried, all of the cords, and you can physically pull them out now. You can physically pull them out, put them into that fire, and again, do your own thing in the morning, cut your own cords, do whatever it is that you need to do, but you're just cutting all of those cords now. All of the karmic cords, all of the ancestral cords, all of that which no longer serves and no longer defines us. And now we're going to invite in freedom. So imagine now that there's an essence of freedom and it's just pouring in and it's swirling into the center of the fire. But the fire is now the violet flame, and I want you to see the word freedom. And I want you to claim this word freedom and put it into your body wherever it feels. Maybe it's in your heart. Just put freedom, the word freedom, put it in your body. Clarity. We're calling in clarity now. And with this clarity, the noise of the mind stops. There's no more wondering about this. It's just clarity. You just know. You just trust. So just feeling this energy of clarity now coming into your body, flooding through every cell, every fibre, every atom of your being. Self-sovereignty. And this is also about radical self-responsibility. Only you are responsible for your emotions. Only you are responsible for your reactions and how you react and respond to things. This is for each and every one of us. So looking at all of the areas where maybe you've been spiritual bypassing yourself, or maybe you've been allowing other people to spiritual bypass. This is about self-sovereignty, claiming all of who you are, your power, your light, your divinity, and owning it proudly. And now we're calling in the energy of expansion. So just imagine now that your higher self is bringing this energy of expansiveness all around your auric field, and it's coming all the way through your physical body. It's just expansiveness. All of those places where this energy has been sitting, it's now just filled with this beautiful expansiveness. And now we're calling in the fire horse energy. The fire horse energy is so powerful. This fire horse energy carries us forward. It's like the chariot carries us forward with confidence, with grace, with sovereignty, and without fear. See yourself now on this beautiful fire horse, and you're charging forward into your future. You're charging forward into the life that you're co-creating. You're charging forward into this beautiful golden dawn that we all came here for. Feel the energy and power of that. Feel the magnificence of that horse as it carries you forward fearlessly into this new realm of being. So now we're just going to, the moment you cut the cord, the universe rushes to fill the space with who you were always meant to be. So just have a sense now that all of those aspects of you that have been waiting to be realigned, that have been waiting to come in, that confident, powerful, magnetic, beautiful, flexible, flowing, abundant person, sovereign being that you are, just feel the energy of that now. This is your natural state of being. So now just gently coming back into your body, and just know that you may feel lighter, you may feel shaky, you may feel emotional, you may feel clear or energized. You may dream intensely tonight. Timelines collapse quickly for Scorpio releases. So now that we've done this, we're just imagining this beautiful golden light all around the planet. We are calling in all of the highest beings of light. We are calling in all of the ancestors, and we are assisting them in cutting the cords also of that which no longer serves them. For that which no longer serves them no longer serves us. Beloved soul, as we stand in this sacred moment between what has been and what is being born through us now, we give thanks. We honour every version of ourselves that carried us to this threshold. We honour every lesson, every ache, every ending, every initiation that shaped the fire in our bones. Tonight, under the Scorpio New Moon, we declare, what is complete is complete. What is done, and what is not ours dissolves now. With the fire of transformation and the water of rebirth, we cut all remaining cords to fear, to doubt, to shame, to the past, to any identity or story that cannot walk with us into our becoming. We call our power back. We call our light back. We call our soul back fully, freely, and fearlessly. May every cord we have released return to source in peace. May every piece of ourselves we reclaim rise in strength and sovereignty. We now step into the new timeline, the fire horse path, the path of freedom, clarity, radiance, and truth. And so it is, and so it shall be, and so we rise. So just put your hand on your heart now for a minute. Just taking a really, 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 really deep breath, and just hold it. And just really deep breath out, letting go all of that which no longer serves you. And just feel this energy now of completion. All of the cords that we've started in this process, and again, you can do your own cord cutting in the morning, or you may feel that this is enough. And just feel this sense of spaciousness, of lightness, of clarity, and of sovereignty as you reclaim all of the parts of who you are. And giving thanks to all of the higher selves of those that are present and those that are working with us through other dimensions in time and space. And may the energy of this cord cutting extend to all of humanity, so that all of these things now be lifted from the psyche of humanity once and for all of the chains, all of the shackles, all of the bondage, as we now all reclaim our sovereignty, our power, and our light. And so it is. And so it is. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope I haven't missed anything that was on there. But again, this is about, again, us taking responsibility for the things that we carry us in ourselves. So write yourself a letter tonight, and I now declare I am no longer available for, shame, blame, guilt, whatever it is. Just word it in whatever way that it is. Put it under your pillow tonight. And then in the morning or sometime tomorrow, do a cord cutting, burn it, put it in water, do whatever it is that bury it, whatever it is that feels right for you, because it's different for each and every one of us. And know that we've just done a massive big cord cutting. So feeling like your solar plexus, like just pulling out any last residue. Just asking our higher selves now to shield off all of our auric fields. Removing the pain body from each and every being that's here. This is the pain body that sits in the auric field that carries all of your trauma, your sadness, your grief, your depression, all of those things that dim your light. See your higher self now pulling this out of your auric field and shaking it. And as your higher self shakes it, it becomes a shimmering, radiant light. And this has been replaced into your auric field. And it becomes a body of love. This is a body of self-love and self-acceptance and self-awareness. So feel now this energy radiating down into your auric field, and it's filling up all of those holes of the energy that you've just released. It's flooding it all with this beautiful translucent light. Just feel yourself grounding now, sending your roots deep down to the core of the earth, and just giving thanks for all of the newness that's about to come. It's like you've stepped over a threshold now, and we're moving forward into this beautiful fire horse energy, and it's going to be fucking amazing. So I hope that's been helpful, and really excited to see what happens. And again, you may feel over the next few days, you may feel emotional, because again, it's really intense energy. We're moving into Sagittarius, yay! Very soon, next few days. But this next few days is going to be quite intense. So again, if you feel the emotions, allow yourself to feel them. Write, journal, write yourself that letter tonight of all of the things that you're no longer available for. Put it under your pillow, do a cord cutting tomorrow, and be ready to, and also maybe do a thing of like, this is what I'm available for. I'm available for real and healthy love. I'm available for abundance. I'm available for my life purpose, whatever it is that you feel that you need for you. And just know that we're going to move forward fearlessly into this light. So sending you all so much love. DM me if you need any help processing, because sometimes it can, it's a gentle process, but it can be quite profound. And sending you all so many blessings and so much love. Have a beautiful, beautiful night.